She suddenly noticed that her mother had several strands of white hair sticking out, in contrast to her lovely brunette hair. She looked at her mother and inquisitively asked, "Why are some of your hairs white, Mum?" The mother replied, "Well, every time you do something wrong and make me unhappy, one of my hair turns white." The little girl thought about this for a while and said, "Mama, how come all of Grandma's hairs are white?" On hearing that her elderly grandfather had just passed away, Katie went straight to her grandparents' house to visit her 95-year-old grandmother to comfort her. When she asked how her grandfather had died, the grandmother replied, "He had a heart attack while we were having sex on Sunday morning." Horrified, Katie told her grandmother that people nearly 100 years old having sex would surely be asking for trouble. Grandmother looked at her and smiled slightly and says, "Oh no, my dear. Many years ago, realising our advanced age, we figured the best time to do it was when the church bells would start to ring. It was just the right rhythm, nice and slow, nothing too strenuous. In on the ding, out on the dong." She paused and wiped away a tear and then continued, "And if that damn ice cream trunk hadn't come along, we'd still be alive today."
That's good.
Sir Mango's is visiting the doctor. He's had a checkup and the doctor says, "Well, you're in good health. You'll live to be 80. The patient says, "But doctor, I'm 80 right now." And the doctor says, "See, what'd I tell you?" So a man and a woman had just celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary. The husband turns to his wife and says, "What do you want to do to celebrate our anniversary, dear?" She replies, "Let's run upstairs and make love." He turns to her and says, "Make up your mind, love. We can't do both." It was the stir of the town when an 80-year-old man married a 20-year-old girl. After a year, she went to the hospital to give birth. The nurse came out to congratulate the fellow. "This is amazing. How do you do it at your age?" And he just replied, "You've got to keep that old motor running." Following year, same thing happened again, same reply. And then for the third year, same thing happened. And same reply, "You've got to keep that old motor running." The nurse said, "Well, you've better check the oil because this one's black." So, an old woman visited the physician to ask his advice on reviving her husband's libido. "Why not try Viagra?" asked the doctor. "Not a chance," she said. "He won't even take an aspirin." "Not a problem," replied the doctor. "Give him an Irish Viagra." He said, "What's an Irish Viagra?" He said, "It's when you drop the Viagra tablet into his coffee. He won't even taste it. Give it a try. Let's talk in a week." A week later, the doctor called the woman to check on the results. The poor dear exclaimed, "Oh, faith, be Jesus and be Gora, 'twas horrid. Just terrible, doctor." He goes, "Oh my, really, what happened?" "Well, I did advise. I slipped it in his coffee and the effect was almost immediate. He jumped straight up, big smile on his face, a twinkle in his eye, and with his pants bulging fiercely. With one swoop of his arm, he sent me biscuits, me gravy, cups and saucers flying, took me clothes off and took me there and then passionately on the table towel. It was a nightmare, I tell you, an absolute nightmare." "Why was it so terrible?" said the doctor. "Do you mean the sex your husband provided wasn't good?" "Freaking Jesus, it was the best sex I've had in years, but sure as I'm sitting here, I'll never go to that restaurant again." Sitting on the side of the highway waiting to catch speeding drivers, a state police officer sees a car puttering along at 22 miles per hour. He thinks to himself, "This driver is just as dangerous as a speeder." So he turns on the lights and pulls the driver over. Approaching the car, he notices there are 5 old ladies 2 in the front seat, 3 in the back, wide-eyed and white as ghosts. The driver, obviously confused, says to him, "Officer, I don't understand. I was doing exactly the speed limit. What seems to be the problem?" "Ma'am," said the doctor, "going too slow, you could also be to another driver's." She said, "Slower than the speed limit?" "No, sir. I was doing the speed limit exactly, 22 miles an hour." The woman says proudly. The state police officer, trying to contain a chuckle, explains to her that 22 was the route number, not the speed limit. A bit embarrassed, the woman grins, thanks the officer for pointing out her error. "Before I let you go, Mum, I have to ask, is everyone in this car okay? These women seem to be awful shaken and they haven't muttered a single peep." And the woman says, "Oh, they'll be right in a minute. We just got off Route 142. So, final one, which VT's just sent to me on account that he told one of mine.
Yeah.
This is a blonde joke. A blonde went into a worldwide message centre to send a message to her mother overseas. When the man told her it would cost her $300, she explained that "I don't have any money, but I'd do anything to get a message to my mother." The man arched a brow, as you would expect. "Anything?" he asked. "Yes, anything," the blonde promised. "Well then, just follow me," said the man as he walked towards the next room. The blonde did as she was told, followed the man, and he told her to come in and close the door, and then told her to get on her knees. She did. "Now, take down my zipper." He did. "Now go ahead, take it out," he said. She reached in and grabbed it with both hands and then paused. The man closed his eyes and whispered, "Well, go ahead." The blonde slowly brought her mouth closer to it, and while holding it close to her lips, she said, "Hello, Mum, can you hear me?" And that's all I've got for this evening.
All right, give it up
Yay!
for Cassie,
That was
everyone.
great.
Hooray for
Yay,
Cassie.